everybody, and welcome back to the next episode of the Skader Things Podcast. I am joined with my co-hosts, Mr. Obby Mage and Just Blue 333.
Hello, thank you for using our full government
I'd say it
names.
weirdly.
Wow, am I
You're
like
very
in
welcome.
trouble, Dad? What's going on?
You are. You're on a registry now. It's all over. I'm sorry.
Oh, great.
The only time my full name gets oh gosh. The only time I hear my full name is usually when I'm in trouble. So what did I do? I'm
Is
sorry.
that what I get for digging up that archaeological site that I accidentally discovered?
Whoops.
Unfortunate.
I'm more
It was
surprised.
just some bones, Obby. Don't worry about it.
I'm more surprised that Blue didn't
Little
get angry at
ancient
me for saying
DNA.
333 as opposed to 333.
It makes me feel so old. Hello, Just
know,
Blue.
right? I mean, it's
300.
close to your-
Did
close to
I
your real.
did I tell you guys about when I went to McDonald's and they had a mobile app and it connected to my email, and so it autofilled, and they're like, "We have an
I
order
remember
for
this,
Just
yeah.
Blue 333."
I
No,
remember
they
you saying
did
about
the
this
same
about a year
thing.
ago.
They did the same thing at Wendy's for me yesterday because I
Where's
connected
Mr.
through
Obby Mage?
Gmail and it was Mr. Obby Mage, and it's like, oh, that feels so weird.
It is. I was laughing. I thought it was hysterical, but Riley was like super embarrassed. But I was like, "That's me, Just Blue 333," because
Yeah.
she read it out, the number just like you did. It
Uh-huh.
was so funny. I'm like, "Can I just get my fries, please?
is,
Thank you."
That is incredible.
I'm sorry.
However,
We're being very rude.
one
We have a
thing-
very special guest today.
Yes,
We do.
we have a very special guest. We have
Hi.
Lord
He's
Otaku
used to
with
it.
us,
Hey, Lord.
and this is very
Wow,
exciting.
that sounds
because
so
Lord-
weird. Can we not go with formal names? Hi, Lord. How are you?
I'm saying
good.
it for the viewer.
It's just because I can't pronounce it. That's why. Okay.
Yeah,
Hi.
yeah, that sounds about right. And this is
We're
very
so
exciting
excited.
because, yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you
I was
off.
gonna say it's all right. I was gonna say, and this is a very exciting episode too, because not only have we wanted Lord on for a while, but Lord is actually the real life husband of Rin Elf, who we've had on the podcast
What?
before.
Please,
Yeah, I know, right? Big
please
surprise,
go to
eh?
this episode if you
Right
want to see
here?
Rin's episode.
Me?
Yeah.
It's me. Hi, I'm Rin.
God, you actually,
Hi, Rin.
Your face
Whoa.
does fit the thing. Can you make do? Lord?
Rin, you have a really American accent today.
I've been working on my American accent. Thank you. Howdy, y'all. Welcome
That's
to Skader
that's-
Things.
Wow, Rin, very impressive. You're also a lot more talkative than you usually are, too.
Yeah, what the
Wait,
hell?
that's right. Rin's not very talkative, right? Okay, hold on.
No.
Ha, just kidding. It's Blue. Just Blue, not Just Blue 333.
Just
So,
blue.
Lord, how are you today? How are you doing, despite our crazy antics?
I'm
me?
feeling good, thank you.
Oh, Lord.
you're-
Sorry.
it's me, yes. Hell.
I said Lord,
Lord.
Blue, not Blue. I said Lord, Lord. Very different
Sorry.
name, both in pronunciation and spelling. I know
We
it's
look
hard
very
for you to
simlar,
keep up.
though. We both have green
And
eyes.
that
and
is, to be fair, that is true. Yeah, sorry. So Lord,
do
I'll,
have
I'll
both-
start again.
We're getting long hair. Mhm.
How are you doing, Lord? I didn't actually hear your answer. I got distracted by Blue's illiteracy. Just kidding. Lord.
Yes. Okay. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Are you all three doing good?
I'm doing pretty
Yeah.
well.
Fantastic.
I am
I'm
feeling
doing
pretty good.
radtastic.
I'm feeling very good today. I think this has been like one of the best days I've had in a while, so I'm feeling very good. I've got a lot to be happy
That's right.
about.
You have a lot to be happy for.
I
Mhm.
do, because the crisis I have been in, being basically effectively homeless, will be coming to a definite end. We've got a house offered to us by the council. We've been looking and we've been applying for all sorts, and we finally got offered one. It's going to be a bit stressful moving in. We're not going to be able to move in for a few weeks, so we're still a little bit displaced. But
Mhm.
my God, is it amazing to know this is all coming to an end. I found out yesterday, and yesterday I was kind of still processing this news. I'm like, what does this mean? Like, I was letting kind of a lot of my emotions out. Today is the first day where I just feel like I feel good again, you know? So I'm
Mhm.
You're trying
very,
to get
very
back to your
happy.
normal, your baseline.
You know
That's right.
And I've given you a lot of shit, Evan, for the past few days, so here's a hug for you, because you deserve it.
Thank you, Obby. I appreciate the hug, Obby. Very kind of
Yes.
you.
I have a hug, Evan.
Yes, thank you, Blue. Very kind of you.
I'm glad
not
to
gonna
know
go
that
on
my
a hug.
friend
You
is
don't. You
no
don't
longer
have to give him a hug,
homeless.
Lord.
Good.
I'm
no,
also
no
glad
peer
to
pressure
know.
here.
I'm also glad to know I'm not homeless either. Like, the hardest part through all of this, and I've hinted at this in a few episodes, but I will just briefly talk about it. The hardest part about like being in this situation wasn't even really being homeless, because like even with like having autism and stuff, like I've always been okay at adapting to difficult situations. The part that was so hellish for me was the not knowing where we're going to live. When are we going to find a place? When are we going to get out of this? Like that was always the hardest part for me, was like not knowing what direction we were going in and how things were going to play out. And I think that was what made it such a difficult situation. So yeah, it's just so nice to now know this is where we're moving to. It's going to be in the exact same town that I'm already living in and have been living in all my life. So again, massive plus. It's a bit smaller than the house we were staying in, but it's and honestly, it's a really good trade because it's a house that we were renting out from a landlord, which we were always eventually going to get evicted from anyway. Now it's literally a permanent home, like in our name, that will be ours for as long as
Like
we
you
want
guys
it.
have actually got a mortgage or something to buy it out fully?
No, so it's a council house. So basically, in the UK, we have houses that the council give to people who are perhaps low income, who just apply but meet certain criterias, like maybe they have like a kid, or maybe they're on disability, or anything like that. And so it basically means that the council give you a house. You still have to pay rent for it, but essentially the house itself is free and the house is permanently in your name. The only reason it wouldn't be is if you did something really bad to get kicked out, like maybe you were a criminal or something.
Okay.
So,
okay.
yeah,
Isn't that similar
it's a
to
really
how
great
you
scheme.
and Rin got your current houses, if I remember correctly?
think it
No,
is.
we just rent our house.
Oh, you guys rent yours. Okay.
Yeah,
My
we're
bad, my
basic.
bad.
Yeah, you basically when you're in the
Different
position
program,
that
I
I'm
believe.
in. Yeah, it can vary, and so when you're in the situation that I'm in, you kind of have other people who are also looking for houses, like people who are literally homeless, like on the streets homeless. You have people who are in just different situations to you, who also, for one reason or another, need a house just like you, and so it's quite a messed up system because you have to bid on these houses. So you have to express interest. Depending on your needs versus their needs, you get sorted to a higher category. You'll be in first position or second position, and it can be it's really messed up because like, and by the way, I think it's a great system, and I'm
I was
really glad
gonna
the
say,
UK has. something
remember,
like
we have American viewers who
Yeah,
are going,
I
what?
I want to say something. Like this is an incredible program, and I think to anybody from any country where this isn't a thing, it's a massive privilege, and it is a privilege. But I also will speak to the UK skaters and say that as great as the system is for existing, it has a lot of work that needs to be done to it. I think, because it is unfair for the like. What about the people who didn't get this house? What about the people who won't get any of the next several houses? I think that it's the way that they
They just stay on
decide
a
who gets
list.
a
Is that
house.
correct? They stay on a list until
Yeah,
it's their turn.
they
Yeah.
do. Exactly. And sometimes you might be waiting, you might be very lucky and get one in the first 2 weeks of applying. In some cases you could be waiting for as long as a year. Like it really depends. And again, like they have to decide who has priority over you. They have to factor in who has a child. How young is the child? Does anybody in the family have a disability? How low is the income? They have to make all these like factors, and that will place you on a certain level. And it's hard because like even on paper, like you look at some situations, some are better and worse than others. It's like the idea of having to rank it, and I know there has to be a sort of a priority system, but the fact that it's done, it is a little messed up, and it's hard to just imagine like how they make those decisions. But yes, it's incredible news, and I'm so happy that we just know where we're going to be going, and I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of hope on the horizon. And it just feels good to be out of it. Like I said, I know I've talked a bit about being in a stressful situation on the Skader Things podcast, so I just figured I'd kind of explain like, how that sort of come to a head, and yeah,
Good to have a
it's really
positive
good.
update.
Definitely.
And speaking of positive updates, I know we have Lord here, and we are definitely going to get to you in a second, Lord, but I do want to do one thing. Because I know that this episode should come out, I think, around April 4th. For anyone who's watching this, TCG is very close. Like, only a couple of days away from the time that this episode is posted. So, everyone, be excited. Because there will definitely be a future podcast where we're talking about TCG, I think. So, anyways.
What's my special again? Umbreon what?
Shiny Umbreon Call.
Shiny Umbreon Call. Coming soon.
Yeah, I finalized the starter decks today before we got into this call. So we got all the starter decks ready. I need to still just do a couple more things, and then we are fully golden. But yeah, I am very excited. I've talked everyone here's ear off about TCG though, so I'm going to stop before I talk any longer. Lord is shaking his head
It's
because
your
he's heard it the
baby.
most.
We understand.
Yeah.
You put so much heart and sweat and tears and
But yeah,
everything into it.
so Lord
Hi, Lord.
Otaku, you are
Yes.
the
Lord.
husband
Yes, Lord.
of Rin Elf. And you have been known for being one, a little bit of a contrarian to popular beliefs, and also a big anime nerd. So just because I do think from Rin's episode I did go on too much about anime, we're gonna save all the anime talk for the last 30 minutes of this episode, okay?
That sounds like a good idea. I like
Anime.
that.
Yeah.
I've heard
So
this.
we are only 11 minutes in. What would you like to talk about first, Lord? Because you listed a lot of topics, and I think a lot of us can talk about a lot of these topics, but I want you to pick your first one.
Let me just look at them. Got them written down.
He already
the
forgot
wheel.
his entire list.
Spin the wheel.
I'm a kind of generalist kind of person. I don't really specialize into one thing. I do a lot of different things, which
Mhm.
is like imagine a video game character where you spec all your points into everything and never have like a proper like good stat, line up,
Yeah.
which is horrible, by the way. And in real
It's
life,
it's
horrible.
how I play.
Yeah, you should
I actually.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, I actually think though, like you kind of criticize that law, but I actually think that can sometimes be really good. Like it kind of goes back to that phrase, like a jack of all trades is a master of none, but better than a master of one.
But I think he's trying to relate it to how he is with. I think he was using that as a relation to. He likes to talk about a lot of things, not just one thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my goodness!
Yes.
I'm
Am I right,
sorry.
Lord?
Yeah,
I speak
my
yeah,
bad.
pretty
fluent,
much.
Lord.
Thank
We've
you.
become
I'm
friends.
just-
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm just now.
I'm married to
I'm-
his wife, after all. I mean,
That's true.
Yeah,
We're
it's
family.
about time you got to know him. Yeah. No, that's
It
my
is a
bad. I
very
just
weird
was-
dynamic here
hi, Ren.
that we
There's Ren.
have with let's see, you're married to Rin, and your wife is also married to Blue.
Yeah,
And
we still don't know when.
Yeah,
that
let's just go
happened,
about this first, because this is the most interesting dynamic I think a lot of people are wanting to tune in for.
Yeah.
You somehow got caught up into being my boyfriend, and
happened.
Yeah,
then
I think it
somehow.
goes back to Ren's episode. I think.
I think it does, but I think it happened a
don't-
little
or
bit
maybe right
after the
before
camera
then?
stopped rolling.
Because
Because I remember watching Ren's episode, editing it, and was never mentioned like I was going to become Lord's boyfriend. I did mention a joke that I was going to steal Lord from her, but that
that's
was
when it started.
yeah, I think
and
that's how it
just
did start.
continued.
And then Evan's over there on the sidelines just observing like normal. And
Yeah, I'm
then
an
Evan's the
observer.
Most
observer.
recent
There's
update-
his picture.
Yeah.
Observer.
most recent update is that I'm also the father of Blue and Rin, which is very interesting dynamics. Very Alabama, I would
My
say.
God.
How this is
Little
shaping up to be.
Georgia, a little
Sweet home Alabama,
southeast
just
Georgia,
playing.
where
Yeah.
I'm from.
I do like
I,
Sweet Home Alabama. It's a really good song.
It's great. Leonard Skinner the best. I
yeah,
love Leonard
my
Skinner.
dad loves
And
them.
you-
So,
Grits are good. We'll take you to Waffle House.
but yeah,
I do often wonder like how people must like perceive like this. I often think about people like non-skaters who like tune in. I'm sure there are a
Wait.
couple, and my coworkers know about this podcast now too. So
What?
shout out to you guys if you're watching. Yeah, I
So
told
we
my
might have like
coworkers.
5 people watching. Oh, this is so exciting.
yeah, yeah.
Or we're
no, I told
doubling,
some of
guys.
I have some coworkers who I told about the podcast because like often like I won't counsel on them, but like I'll often see them like playing online. Like they'll might play like Call of Duty is kind of a big one we're playing right now. But there'll be some nights where I'm like, oh sorry guys, I can only play for a bit, or like I might have to skip because I have a podcast. And so I told them like, oh, they're like, oh, what are you doing, Ev? I'm like, oh, I'm just recording a podcast. And so yeah, I told them about it, and so I just imagine like some of these jokes, like the like Lord and Obby being partners while Lord is married. I wonder how that must sound
They're
to them who have
together,
like no
but then
context.
they broke up.
It's great.
what you should do is that you now need to ask all your coworkers who know about the podcast which one of us three
Yeah.
is their favorite.
That's a great idea. They'll
Well,
probably
clearly, it's
like,
going to be Lord, even though
They'll
What?
probably
he's just a
say
guest.
they'll probably say blue. I think they'll say
What?
blue. Honestly, no, I think they'd say blue.
Yeah, I'm a very divisive person. I can tell. like when it comes to this podcast. I have some I think I have some good hits, but I also have a lot of misses, I feel.
I think
I like
mean,
you both.
would
I
say,
couldn't decide.
I would say I probably kind of fit that bill too. To be fair, I'm pretty like hit or miss a lot.
I'm
of
the
time.
wild
It does
card.
depend. It depends. For me, it depends on the episode. Like there are some episodes where I'm like, oh yeah, like this will. I've done nothing but hit, and then there'll be other ones where I'm like, man, I was missing. Like I was intending to miss or something.
Yeah. Well, either way, going back to the relationships dynamic.
Sorry.
I think we need to explain what's been going on.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great time to do that.
Mm-hmm. So, Lord, how about we start with the origin point, your marriage with Rin, where it all started.
Yeah, what do we talk about?
Your marriage with Rin.
Yeah, what
It
part?
was a Sunday afternoon. Lord was
I
on
think he was
Minecraft.
When did you get
Oh,
married?
wow.
How'd you guys fall in love, etc., etc.? Actually, don't tell you
Oh,
how
He's
you fell in
asking
love.
for,
'cause
he's
that
asking
one's
for your
inappropriate.
marriage story, essentially.
Ren
In
rode
autism
up on a
speak, he's
white
asking for
horse.
your-
Lord
He's
killed the
asking
horse.
for your marriage story, Lord.
I see. Well, it all happened one day when Rin was running to school with bread in her mouth, and then knocked into me. Yes. And then we immediately fell in love, immediately, when we made eye contact with each
That
other and
is
helped her up.
how it happens in your head.
Wait,
So
you're
how
autistic.
did it?
There's no eye contact. Liar.
Oh, I'm okay with eye contact. I've never been.
Oh,
not
are
okay with it.
you?
Ah,
Are you
finally
okay
another
with-
one.
Are you okay with hugs? Because I don't do eye contact
No,
or
I'm not
hugs.
okay with hugs. I can't
Yay,
handle hugs.
team no
Okay,
hug.
never
Let's
mind.
go. You can
Can't
go
handle
look
it.
and hug people somewhere else, Obby.
I know,
Yeah.
it's
You
great.
know, one day when we meet, I will
See,
totally give you eye
It
contact and
sucks.
hug you.
It sucks for you two because you two have unique eyes. Because like you just established this before the podcast. Like you two have like a very rare eye color, like green or something. And I've always been told that I have extremely beautiful eyes, and it either makes people who I meet for the first time either want to keep staring into my eyes or they want to stop looking away because they are getting too distracted by my eyes.
Your eyes
So-
are gorgeous. They're really pretty.
Thank you. They are very
APL
pretty.
has beautiful eyes too, and so does BB. All three of you guys.
Mm. But
And
I
Evan
got
too.
numbers on-
Evan's got
No,
blue
I
eyes
got.
too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I got.
Evan's
numbers on my
eyes
a
are,
lot when I
but
was
it's
young.
a different shade. It's
Yeah, mine's
Yeah.
are more like.
You're like
Mine's
blue
are more
blue.
like. Mine's are more Swedish blue, like or like a more Scandinavian blue, I would say. Very like dark blue.
Scandinavian blue.
See, when I think Scandinavian blue, I think light blue for some reason, but I don't know why.
I mean,
Sometimes
America's kind
there's
of a
no
lightish
like
blue,
rhyme
it's
or
not
reason
that
to what
I
I
think of the blue of the Swedish flag. That's what
Oh,
I
the
think.
blue at the bluest
Scandinavian.
oceans.
That is
My
a pretty
heart.
blue flag.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
But
either
yeah,
way,
so-
show memes aside with the anime stuff. What is marriage life like with your wife?
Oh, it's actually pretty great. It's like literally, when you hang around your best friend at like school or at home and you're playing video games together and you're just having the time of your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's that all
Well,
the
you
time.
don't have to go home, right? You are
Yeah.
home,
Exactly. It's that
and you
all
get
the
to go
time.
to nighttime with them. I don't know how to say that.
You get to go to nighttime with them, huh?
Slumber parties. There you go.
You get to
Every
have
night,
slumber
a
parties
slumber party.
every single night.
Pillow fights every single night with your
they
best
can't-
friend.
They can't not trivialize every word that comes out of your mouth, Lord. But yeah, I know what you're saying. That's it's really cool when you have that
You
sort of
married your
dynamic.
best friend.
Mhm.
That's a goal
Yeah,
That's
for
what you
everyone.
want. That's the entire life goal right there.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
For sure.
It-
And so it all started with them getting married about some like how many years have you guys been married? I know you've been
over
together
5.
for 10 years, but have you been married
Yes.
for
5 years.
5 years?
Yeah,
So,
we actually got married pretty early on.
yeah. Oh, I would not say 5 years is early on. I think that like
I say 5
Yeah,
years.
I've
5
known
years is like
people-
solid on.
I've seen some people get married within 2 years of meeting. So like 5 years
Oh, I've
is
seen
like
people
pretty
get
impressive.
married within like a year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you
Yeah,
gotta at
some
least
people
go
are.
through every holiday once, at least, just to make sure,
I think you should go through every holiday twice, one with one family, one with the other at least.
Oh,
a
right.
good
Well,
way.
too, because the first time you go through anything with someone new, you're gonna be on like honeymoon behavior, like extra special behavior.
I
You
think-
make sure you get through to the second one.
I think
Let's go
2.5
for 3.
I think my preference would be like 2.5, 3 years, but probably more lean towards 3 years or more before I would marry someone. I think that like even in like 3 or 4 years, like you guys can both of you can change an awful lot, and you have to really measure like, are we changing together in like a positive way, or are we changing and we're sort of growing apart? Like my
We talked about
mother's
that.
100%. Like my mother's partner, he like her and him were very serious, and they had a really great relationship. But it ended up after like 5 years that they just sort of split because they just realized they were just not really right for each other. It wasn't like negative; it was actually very amicable. And my stepfather is still very involved in my life, but they sort of just changed a little bit, and it just didn't really work as a relationship. So I think you owe it to yourselves to like give a lot of time to a relationship to really see like, are you on a forward path together, you know?
Definitely. But yeah, so that is the origin point of this entire debacle that we now find ourselves in, Lord.
Yeah.
Because we got to the story for you.
Your wife decided to be active on Skade and join the birthday team. That is the next turning point of the saga. Rin joins the birthday team and makes you come semi-active on Skade. And then it turns like we get to hear more about your relationship and stuff. Blue starts falling in love with Rin.
It was mutual, thank you.
Rin started reciprocating the feelings.
We don't even know how that happened. Just one day we were married, okay? I don't get it. Same with Telly. Hi.
Rin is a reluctant participant in this.
I think Rin is a really excited participant in this because she exclaims all the time that like, that's my wife you're talking to right now.
That's right.
That is true.
Yeah, she is a very excited participant.
Blue and Rin really connected fast, and it was actually really cool to watch that happen.
Well,
like I would see like that happen a lot, particularly in Birthday. And I know you guys had a lot of history together too.
Yeah, we've known each other a long time, and there was like some wedges that kind of got pushed in between us a little bit with like old stuff, drama stuff from somewhere else. Yeah, and it wasn't like, but neither of us ever really felt, I would say, ill towards each other, but quite the opposite. It was just more giving space kind of thing. And and then and then Ren joined Skade, and I was so stoked for that. I was so happy. And then it was, I think, a mod rec. I was doing a mod rec of theirs over on their Project Island, which if you haven't seen it, oh my God, it's beautiful, amazing. Place. And and I was like, holy shit, woman, you need to be on the birthday team. Like you're building. I had forgotten what a great builder Ren was. And so we got Ren on the team, and Ren started really coming out of her shell, just opening up, being in more calls, like really Obby said. I don't want to mansplain and pull a Evan here, but it was really great to see that, because what also happened was we got Lord. So
they came as a package deal, unfortunately.
Yeah, Among Us calls where I think I first started to get to know Lord, and Mario Kart, of course.
It's been so
we're
gonna
good, discuss some Mario Kart here in a minute, though.
I think it's truly amazing, because like I know like Lord and Rin had joined Skade like even back when it opened, but they were very to themselves, and they kind of just like did their own thing, which was cool. But I would say like 2024 is when they really started joining calls regularly. Rin maybe a bit sooner, but like it's been so great to get to know both of you much more personally, and just see you guys active on Skade, because you guys add such an amazing flavor to the community, and it's just so fun to kind of get to know you guys.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Lots of flavor.
100%.
What are your feelings on Skade, Lord? Do you hate us?
Oh no. You're all really fun.
Thank you.
I think we're fun.
I'm glad to hear that my ex-boyfriend thinks that we're fun.
No, wait, hold on. I'm not sure that this breakup has really happened. Because originally it was due to you not having long hair, but I believe Lord explained to what's his name, Ify?
Ify Nawadaway.
That right. I believe if I remember watching that cameo correctly, Lord's like, no, the hair was not an issue at all. So
I think
are you really broken up?
It's time for the context of that. Even though we didn't really explain the relationship dynamic, it is literally one of those things where it's like the entire relationship dynamic, it's literally just jokes that we create on Skade that get too far out of hand.
Everyone,
and it's like
they just
we don't even know how it started,
married.
if that makes sense. But yeah, we just kind of go with the flow, if that makes sense with anything. So anyways, though, one day I think like it was mentioned that I have short hair, and Lord immediately in reaction to hearing that say that I have short hair was, ugh, gross. That
I
is
think it was
literally
during the What Are We Playing call. I'm almost positive it was during What Are We Playing call because I remember Nalari was there too. Yeah.
It was literally that reaction, and I was like so offended.
It was funny.
Like jokingly offended. I don't actually care if people dislike or like short hair, long hair. Like I don't care about what your hair is personally.
Plus he was joking.
Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah, I wasn't serious.
But I decided to
bald,
crank it up to 11. See, I know Lord and Rin, they both like Dropout, which is a YouTube entertainment group who also has their own streaming service. They used to go by College Humor back in the day. But we are both very big fans of their content and everything. And so I thought to myself, I'm going to get a cameo of one of the Dropout people just to roast his ass. And so originally I went to Brandon Lee Mulligan.
This is what friends do.
Yeah. I went to Brandon Lee Mulligan. His cameo was unavailable. Went to Izzy Rowland. Her cameo was unavailable. Siobhan didn't have a cameo. Sam Reich didn't have a cameo. Ended up on Ify.
Was a last choice though.
No, Ify was the 5th choice. There's like 60 people in the cast, Blue. I had a lot of more people to go through. Ify Ify is like one of my favorites because I've known Ify way before Dropout. Like I only got into Dropout like last year, but I knew Ify from like a bunch of Achievement Hunter, Smosh, and a bunch of other projects that he's been in or collabs that he's been in. But he is a comedian that I like and very cherish. And so I decided to send him a cameo to roast Lord for one, saying that I had short hair and that sucks. AKA I used basically Ify as a joke to break up with Lord, is how this went down.
What's up, Lord? Look, I'm getting a lot of information about you that I don't really know. It seems like you broke up with Obby because you found out that he has short hair. What's that all about? What do you have against people with short hair? And apparently I'm supposed to tell you that your wife loves Kimber more than him, and he's going to you're only ever going to play single player games because you're lonely. Apparently Obby's better at Mario Kart. Look, this is a wild request, but look, you be blessed. It seems like you got problems. You out here hating on people with short hair. You out here losing in Mario Kart, and you out here pissing Obby off. So that's why I'm coming at you like that. Don't be mad at me. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just a guy who's reading a very detailed list of things to say that, you know, E-boy boyfriend. E-boy. Like, do you wear cat ears? Is that what it means, E-boy? Like, you know, hit me up. Let me know. Stop hating on people with short hair. Get better at Mario Kart. Goodbye.
He basically used Ify as the messenger between them.
We should put
and
the
then I
links
added more.
Somewhere.
Oh yeah, and then I added more content to it just to be like extra rub it into Lord's face that I got someone he really admires to roast his ass. So I did like his wife doesn't love him anymore and is leaving for Blue, Kimber here.
That's me.
This is Kimber. And then also that he's bad at Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. That was the insulting one.
That was that was the most
That was
insulting
bad.
one out of the three.
Yeah, I mean wives, you know, but Mario
and so
Kart?
I sent it, and like 3 or 4 days later, Ify got back to me and had the most confused reaction whatsoever to like what he was supposed to interpret from that message, and it was hilarious. It was like, really funny. How the hell am I supposed to react to this? What am I even reacting to? Who am I roasting in this? And it's just like, Lord, sounds like you don't like people with short hair. You should stop, dude. I think that's it. And so instantly afterwards, Lord decided to send a response. So Lord, you want to explain your response to this?
Yeah, basically just wrote a response saying, because also during the cameo, if he mentioned that I'm like I wear because you said I'm like
an
e-boy boyfriend.
You're an e-boy.
So so apparently I'm an e-boy now somehow, and I wear cat ears or something. So
Ouch,
I was like, no,
that one hurt.
Obby wears cat ears, Pikachu one specifically, and that I'm actually
But
the
he
goat of
liked
Mario
that.
Kart.
Okay, Lord hit me up with the rebuttal, okay? He hit me up with the rebuttal. So now it seems like Lord doesn't wear cat ears, you know. Obby, you do. Pikachu ones. I mean, that's rat ears, technically. Just to, actually you both. Those are rat ears, not cat ears. And Kimber and his wife both love him. And the GOAT, you're the GOAT of Mario Kart. Obby's just envious of... so you're just envious of Lord's long hair. What is going on here? What is this beef that's happening? Is this going back and forth? Y'all in the Mario Karts, no one's letting me know who's using what characters and what cards, because I can be the judge on who's actually the GOAT of what's going down. As far as long hair, yeah, long hair don't care gang like Lloyd. You know, you see I got some right there. I'm about to get it connected. That's why I'm growing out my sides, because I'm about to go full head with the locks. I love being a part of this beef, the messenger of it. So I guess I await Obby's response. I'm gonna sit by my phone after I send this, Obby, to see if you got a response. If not, I guess Lord wins. I guess so. I guess you're gonna have to go back and forth, band for band, cameo for cameo, to see who gets to keep it popping before one of y'all give in. Right now, Lord, you're in the lead. Congratulations. All right, y'all. Both y'all have fun. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for using me for whatever this beef is. I appreciate y'all.
He wasn't even gross.
Mm-hmm.
If he was like, no, my dude or whatever wears, Pikachu ears. He was actually a fan of that Obby.
He was.
It was so funny.
Yeah, and he also
Pikachu's a
even
rat.
exclaimed that actually, Pikachu is a mouse, not a cat.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh god.
Is that real?
Yeah, he's the host of a
he is,
game
yeah.
show called Actually. So
Yeah.
he does that a lot.
That's funny.
But yeah. So what was like your cameo response entirely?
Yeah, I mentioned the that you're the one that wears like ears, because I don't wear ears. I'm not an e-boy.
Mhm.
Ugh, no. I mentioned that I'm actually the GOAT of Mario Kart, and that you're just jealous of my long hair, and that you're just jealous and overreacting.
That sounds very, very on brand.
And once again,
it was a very good reply.
it was a very good reply, very to the point, direct, no flavor text like I added. The e-boy stuff was just actual flavor text that I added just to make it a more spicy cameo. But he did another cameo. Like it took like about 7 days or so. He got back and was still confused about the whole situation, but was also it kind of seemed like he was interested and wanted to see how this played out.
Yeah,
he's invested now.
He's very invested at this point.
Yeah, he was like, okay, so this is what's going on. Turns out Obby's a fucking liar.
Yes, Obby, I love that.
Obby.
Yeah, he calls me
Obby's a fucking
Obby.
liar.
Which, to be fair, if you see my name just OBBY right away, I would also say like Obby is how I would pronounce it. It is technically pronounced Obby, but like I'm not gonna give him shit for that.
But that's because Obsidian it's like a whole
Yeah, that's because Obby is just short for Obsidian.
I like Obby though.
I think it is very funny how he pronounces the name. But so yeah, you send that response. He claps back. He just says like, as the messenger, I think Lord is winning right now. And obviously, as soon as he says that, I'm like, well, now I have to go and give another response.
You're all, oh hell no!
Like I'm not gonna let this do.
No, sorry.
Hold my sugar-free dragon fruit.
Sorry.
So I go ahead and launch another response, and he said in the cameo, like, listen, I need to hear like cart stats and everything. I need to know who has the better cart. That way I can actually tell, because
He's
like
such a gamer.
he is
I
a
love
gamer.
it. Which
Like,
is so great.
Yeah, it's really great that he's a gamer.
All right, okay. Obby's back. Says Lord is bad at Mario Kart. Main set is Daisy, Teddy Bear, Roller Wheels, and Cloud Glider. And that's a good setup. That I know. So shout out to you. His neckbeard ass isn't beating me in Mario Kart. His neckbeard ass isn't beating me in Mario Kart. Lord's wife should leave his second place ass. Also, no disrespect to long hair. I'm bald, and he hates me for it, though. Wow. So it looks like there's no long hair hate. There's bald hate, what's going on there? What's happening, Lord? Why are you hating on the baldness? Also, like, I need to see some scores soon because we're going back and forth. We're talking about first and second place, but I'm just being told one person's better, the other's better. But y'all gotta duke it out on the track. Y'all gotta get on that track and post the scores. I need to know who won last because that'll let me know who truly is the best. Because right now it's just a lot of people saying they're the best, hating on hair, hating on no hair, wives being brought into it. What's happening? Who's truly winning? Look, and I think now that I'm talking to you, Lord, it's time for you to put up or shut up. It's donezo. It's a wrap.
And so I did, like, as he said, I typed up, like, hey, this is my actual, like, setup that I use. For those who don't know, it is Daisy, Teddy Buggy, Roller Wheels, and Cloud Glider, which is basically just the meta build at the moment. But then I commented that, like, hey, no hate for long hair here. I do not discriminate against long hair people. It's just that Lord, yeah, it's just that Lord himself said that he does not like short hair, and that's the problem here. That's why we broke up. And I think I also added another comment about his wife leaving him again, which is just like, one of those things that I'm adding just for more flavor text and more drama.
It's so funny. The whole thing
it really is. Like, we are creating a whole narrative here. And that was the most recent cameo. I know that Rin said that she wanted to have the next response. I don't know.
She wants the final response, I think.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be the final response yet. I think it is because, like, let's be honest, the cameos cost quite a bit of money. Like 100 per.
You guys are crazy.
And I don't think I would launch another response. So we're going to have, like, Rin create another cameo. And by the time this episode's out, that cameo will already be done and posted.
I feel like every time I see a Lord and Obby cameo request, it confuses me more and gets deeper, and the lore is growing every second. So now Rin is asking me to make this for Lord and Obby, and y'all have worked out your differences, and Rin is a surrogate for your child, and you're planning a double wedding in October. And Obby admitted that Lord is slightly better at Mario Kart, and Lord apologized on his knees, begging for Obby's forgiveness, and Obby accepted graciously. Nilari, your friend, is going to officiate the double wedding, and your pet Evan will sit in the corner like a good boy, who's very well. I feel like Evan isn't like a dog or cat, like maybe a dog boy, cat boy, but yeah, I'm glad to add to the Lord Obby lore, get Rin in here and have that voice heard. It keeps growing. I feel like every request I learn more about y'all. Like, I thank you for the wedding invite. If it's in my schedule, I have to come through. Shout out to y'all. Y'all got a lot going on, and I appreciate that. All of the stuff that's happening, because this is bananas. But I'm glad y'all are happy. I'm glad y'all are happy in this banana peel mushing together. Y'all have a good one.
Hey, Editor Obby here, guys. I just wanted to say that last cameo that you just saw from Ify was recorded like a week or two after this podcast, so we are not going to make any references to it, as we are talking about Rin before she sends in that request for Ify for that cameo. So just want to give you guys context for the rest of this segment that there is going to be no talk of that last cameo. All right, back to the episode.
Yeah.
But like, I think we are talking about how to make this a closed out for the storyline. And I think her idea is like, I divorce Lord and marry Kimber. We get back together and we live happily ever after for somehow. So yeah, that is.
And you both play Mario Kart.
Yeah,
very well.
We both play Mario Kart very well. It does actually turn out that he has more wins over me right now. That being said, I think if we kept playing right now, it would be a lot more even, because I think back when you first started playing, I was getting de-rusted still at that stage. So I think I am definitely better now.
All I'm hearing is I won the Mario Kart tournament, so...
Yeah. Listen, I wasn't even in the Mario Kart tournament. I had to commentate the entire thing. You wouldn't have won if I was there.
Sounds like a you problem.
Emerald's won, didn't he? No, did Evan win?
No, Evan won the tournament.
Oh,
but I always argued that Emerald should have won, because that one race that he did win did not count.
I was pulling for Lord. You can go back and re-listen to it. I pull for Lord the whole time.
You did pull for Lord, like the whole time.
It's all good.
I did.
I'm all right with that.
It's like I knew back then.
Mm-hmm.
I knew we would be family one day.
Lord is a... You know what? I have a question for Lord, actually, now we're on the topic of Mario Kart. When did you start playing Mario Kart? Because you are, like, joking aside, you are actually a very formidable and very, very talented Mario Kart player. So when was the first time you actually played Mario Kart?
I think it's literally when we literally got the Switch. As soon as we got the Switch, we got like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you never played any of the Mario Karts beforehand?
Wait, you didn't play it on the Wii?
I did play it on the Wii. Yeah,
Coconut
I played.
Mall? Oh, okay.
I played on the Wii, but not like as I do now. I played more casually, and I was really bad, especially because movement tricks and stuff like that. It was a lot more annoying.
Did you have the steering wheel?
I did, and I couldn't use it. It
was junk, wasn't it? I didn't like the steering wheel either. It was.
Yeah, it was more theatrical, like, and I never.
Even me, I went and got like a third-party controller just to actually use like a gamepad and stuff for Mario Kart Wii. But yeah,
I must say, like, considering how little, like, comparatively you've played like the Mario Kart games, you've got a very impressive skill. The first time I played Mario Kart was Mario Kart 8. I had a lot of pocket money saved up, and I had seen the Mario Kart 8 come out for the Wii U, and I was like, ooh, like, I've never actually owned a Wii U before, because it came out, I think it was a few years before this, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy a Wii U just to play a Mario Kart game, because I've never done it before, and I loved it, and I have a Nintendo Switch Lite, which I played the deluxe version on, but I've been very, like, on and off with the deluxe. I played the original Mario Kart 8, like, almost every day at one point, when I was decent at it. But yeah, it's really interesting that, like, your first, like, proper experience with it was literally for the Switch, like, with Deluxe, when you started, like, playing it more seriously. So that's really cool. Like, you were very efficient, clearly, in kind of your skill building, as they'd say.
Yeah.
I have a history of playing racing games. That's why, because I grew up playing racing games.
They are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
See, I never played many other racing games other than Mario Kart, but like I've played Mario Kart ever since Double Dash on the GameCube. I've played every iteration since then, except the 3DS's Mario Kart 7, because that game sucked. But like all of them I've played, and I still play occasionally to this day, like Double Dash and Super Circuit. I still have both of the games. But then Mario Kart 8 came out on the Wii U. I bought it, played it, loved it, and I started playing it like with my friends at high school, and I would just keep beating them constantly. It's like, wow, I'm really good at this game. And that led me to like play more and more. It's like, I want to get really good at this game, because I've never been like exceptionally good at a video game. Around that time in high school, I was learning how to play Pokemon competitively, like with the VGC, and like learning how to train in them and everything like that. And so it's like, I'm very happy that like I was able to have a game that like I am good at and people know that I'm good at, because it made me feel good. That was like literally what it was. And then it Deluxe, I got more competitive.
What's your Lord? What's your favorite Mario Kart?
Well,
like, what are your sort of favorites?
Obviously, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is my favorite, because that's the one I actually, play properly.
Oh, maps, I should say. Sorry, maps. Oh, maps. I meant maps. I don't know if I must have misspoken. Sorry, maps.
That's fine. I really like. I did the Skade newsletter. What was the maps? I definitely like the circuit maps, the normal circuit maps, the best.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Peach circuit is one of my favorites because they're more like basic and it's more just focusing on the race. Shortcuts are easy and not like game breaking. DK Summit, I think I like because it's a good skip on that
DK
one.
Summit is awesome.
Yeah,
I see.
It's
I'm that
probably my
controversial
favorite.
one. I'm not that big of a fan of DK Summit. I prefer like the other Donkey Kong map, the one oh, which one's it called? It's the one in one of the like original Mario Kart 8 maps, the Banana Cup.
The volcano one?
No, it's the one where like you fly. It's like a Donkey Kong map, but like at one point like you fly and there's like these like large like stone statues that shoot like smoke out and you like glide past them.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, fly above the water.
yeah.
I know which one you're talking about. I don't know the map's name though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. My favorite I think is like probably Wario's Mountain. I've always just loved that map. I know it's a bit unorthodox being a start to finish map, and I would say it can be a little bit it might be a bit like like sporadic. Sometimes it can be very inconsistent, especially with the items. But I've always just loved the layout of it. I've always loved the sort of start to finish. And there are some really good like subtle shortcuts that are quite hard to catch and pull off. So I just love the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
That is fun.
My favorite in terms of Mario Kart of all time would be Baby Park, but specifically on Double Dash. I think Baby Park on 8 Deluxe is fine, but I prefer it on GameCube. But in terms of like 8 Deluxe, I like Dolphin Schloes the most. That one's my favorite.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, Dolphin Shoals is very good. I used to really hate that one growing up, but I've learned to sort of like it more now as an adult. What
Also,
about you, Blue? What's
Cloud.
your favorite map? Oh, Cloud's good too. Cloud's really good. What's your favorite one, Blue?
Actually, I know it sounds dumb, but I really like the Excite Bike one.
Yeah.
Because of the
Oh,
nostalgia
yeah, you do like
of playing
that one,
Excite
don't you?
Bike. I also like the DK Summit one. So, and of course Rainbow Road. I love the Rainbow ones. Which
Yeah.
I know most people hate them. But I love them. So, yeah. I'm not quite I love Mario Kart and I play it with you guys, but I don't play outside of Skade, so or at least not very often.
I don't play it outside of Skade that much either.
I don't win. I like to stay in the back and support the people in the back. It's my role.
I remember the DK map I was thinking of before. It's literally just called DK Jungle. I think I prefer that to DK Mountain.
Yeah. DK Jungle sounds right. Yeah.
Definitely an A tier or like at least a B plus tier.
I do think about quite regularly, like all the players that we do have on Skade who are really good at Mario Kart. I mean, us three. Then there is Emeralds, then Nin, Steel is also really good at it.
Steel's really good.
Yeah.
Pizza plays,
and I
Super
always
plays.
think about like how I would love to have just a match with like all the like top tier players, just to like have a determinate like this is who is the best Mario Kart player before Mario Kart 9 comes out.
Ooh, okay.
Like one tournament to like rule.
Well, we need to have another tournament for sure. Like I was.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have one.
We were just talking about that with Nalari like recently because Nalari, I think once the new Switch comes out, Nalari is going to be getting it.
Yeah, I talked about how I'm not sure if I'm going to be getting. I'm definitely not getting the Switch 2 at launch. Because I am the kind of person that in order for me to justify buying a console, I need to have I need to have an equivalent amount of priced games for it for me to enjoy like wanting to effectively buy the console. Like the Switch, the original Switch, you had like Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart, Pokemon, like all those games added up to over $300. So I was like fine buying the console, but like that's how I justify buying a console now. And we just don't know the Switch 2's lineup as of this recording. I think actually though they are having a direct like 2 days before this podcast episode, so might have my mind changed before this podcast.
I really want a new Animal Crossing. That's what I'm just holding out for, and I hope it releases pretty fast. I love Animal Crossing, but I'm so burned out. I've tried to pick it back up multiple times over the last year, and I'll play for a little bit, get rid of a villager or two, get a new one, and then forget about him for 4 months. And I want something that grabs my attention like it did back in 2020.
Sure, for sure.
That was peak Switch days for me. So
Yeah.
Anyways,
There is
back to Lord.
I was gonna say there is another topic that Lord put on his list that I think would be very interesting to talk about if you don't mind a topic switch.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
go ahead.
Lord, you were talking about one of your topics was about school and like life at school when you didn't know you had a disability and stuff like that. Is that basically the gist of it?
Yeah.
I am very interested in that topic because I think Blue, you can also relate because you didn't get diagnosed really until after.
Until right after.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I kind of want to hear this conversation if you don't mind, or see how it plays out.
Too now.
Okay. Well, yeah. This also relates to, I had a stroke at 5, which I'm sure all you know. Rin likes to joke about that.
So I did not know that. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know that. Did you guys know that?
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Have you? Did you know? My own wife didn't tell me.
She probably did tell you, but you weren't listening.
I don't know. I just don't remember. I'm sorry. Anyway, oh wait, maybe. I'm so sorry. Ren's probably going. I've told her 3 times. Sorry, Ren. I do listen sometimes. Okay, I'm sorry, Lord. Back to your story.
It's all right. Yeah. So after having my stroke, and they figured out, they did all that. I was on aspirin for like a year to thin my blood to make sure there was no blood clots or any kind of problems afterwards. But because of that, I had very mental problems at the time. So like at school, I got injured and got my head stuck in like a bit of equipment.
Oh no!
And so my mother panicked and took me out of school for like half a year to between half a year and a year. So that affected my education because they didn't homeschool me or do anything afterwards. They were young parents, so they just left me to my vices. So when I went back to school, I was already hindered by having less education than those kids. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
hard. So I go through that. I stick out. I have a few problems with teachers, students, the typical stuff you have. And through when I get to about like 12, 13 years of age, my pediatrician that was following me, because I had a stroke, they usually follow that up and make do checkups every once in a while.
Yeah.
See if there's any other problems. I get diagnosed with Asperger's. Back when that was a thing. And so I deal with that. The secondary school I go to is like, oh, we should try and do a few bits for him. Like they give me a card, let me leave early, but it doesn't help.
Oh, you get accommodations. Good.
Yeah, some accommodations. Like I also have a problem with hand coordination of my hands because I've had some nerve damage problems. So I still can't tie shoelaces properly. It's annoying. So I just get Rin to do it for me.
Get the Velcro, man.
Velcro is not comfortable. Plus,
is it?
It's
I used to have Velcro Vans that I loved. Like, I don't know if Vans are really popular there or not, but we have Vans and Velcro ones. Amazing. I struggle with fine motor, so not the same degree, but yeah, I like Velcro shoes.
Is it sad that I know the exact origin of Velcro?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I mean,
yes.
Sad,
it's actually very
surprising. No.
Not surprising, but it is very sad.
Yeah. I just thought.
Is it gonna hurt you unless you literally say it? Because if so, just
no.
It.
Oh no,
Okay.
it won't. Don't worry. No, I just.
I'm like, are you gonna sit there and just explode?
When you mentioned no, not at all. It's just when you mentioned Velcro, my brain was like thinking of like the origin of Velcro. I was like, I don't think anybody else.
And
really
this is someone who has always been diagnosed with autism.
My brain literally saw Velcro shoes in my brain. That's what I saw.
Yeah. Oh, I saw them too. Yeah.
Should I continue?
That's funny.
Yes. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no. Okay. No, it's fine.
Sorry for disrupting the.
You're used to us.
Yeah. Just like ask. Anyway, yeah, I get diagnosed with Asperger's. I have more problems, bullying, typical stuff. Not getting along with teachers. I get misunderstood quite a lot. But obviously, they only think I'm like mildly Asperger's at the time. So I stand out. Everyone just thinks, oh, he's a bit of a weirdo. They're not, they don't think, oh, he's autistic or he's mentally disabled or any kind of thing like that. So they just, it's not pleasant. I get no understanding. I get nothing like that. But then when I get to 15, my pediatrician does some tests, sees me a few times, and is like, gets suspicious that I might be autistic instead of Asperger's. So at the time they were separate. Or they're still considered a part of the autism spectrum, but autism was like a more severe version of Asperger's.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get diagnosed with that, and me and my dad just look at each other like, yeah, we expected this as much. And at that point, I get a bit more accommodation, but I'm so socially anxious, having like, you know, panic attacks in school, that I can't even go in class because I get panic attacks. I run away. I physically run away out in every class. So then I end up, because again, even after being diagnosed with autism, they still don't know how to accommodate me properly. So I just do like some basic worksheets during class while everyone else is getting their, you know, lessons. I'm getting proper one-to-ones with teachers and can ask questions, but I'm just left in the room under other teachers' supervision when they're just grading papers. I just have to work on this like handbook, and that's it. And that goes on. And basically, what I'm trying to say is, the school did try to accommodate me. They gave me a laptop during when I was my first year of secondary school, and pens to help me with my, you know, writing. But other than that, I didn't get the accommodations that I would say would have helped me more. Like, you know, more attention that I could have used, and maybe different classes, because there were classes for kids who were struggling, like had dyslexia, had autism as well. But for some reason they tried to keep me in the you know, neurodivergent classes, because they wanted to push me and they wanted me to, you know, do better than apparently I was. They were worried I was going to be bad. So that's my take on it, and, you know, my experience, and I would not wish it on someone else, because pushing you is fine, but, you know, you need to also know that if you push too hard, it's going to have adverse effects and, you know, cause problems.
Yeah, lifelong problems.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
sorry about that.
Well, you know what's interesting? I was diagnosed with Asperger's I pronounce it Asperger's. I was diagnosed with Asperger's, and then after diagnosed, classic autism. So we kind of have that in common too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a hole in your heart too, I remember, right?
Yeah, that was a...
Me too! Is that how you had your stroke?
Oh my God,
me
they're
too.
twinning.
Yeah,
Literally.
ventricular septal defect.
Yes. Yep.
I had to
Okay.
have a mesh put on that.
Because I actually see, and I didn't get I can't get mine can't get fixed, unfortunately, but like my I actually had something called a TIA, which is it's like a baby stroke, and that's how they diagnosed it. That's how they found it out. What had happened was because they found the hole in my heart, and they had done this thing called a bubble test, and they watched this bubble go leak through the hole in my heart up through to my brain, and they're like, that would be why. So yeah, we have those things in common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I will say that, like, I'm gonna speak from my experience with high school and autism real quick, that I don't necessarily like the way that I was in high school. I don't think that my autism really hindered me all that much, other than like very loud noises were very distracting, sensory issues like that, which I did have very graciously get provided a resources room for a study hall. So that was very nice to have, just peace and quiet over there whenever I was like wanting to do work and stuff. But I do remember and I remember you talking about this, Lord, how you were friends with like a lot of popular girls in high school. And I am also very similar to that I had also quite a bit of like the popular girl crowd I was friends with in high school, or like cordial with. And I think a lot of it was also just due to the fact that I was most certainly the biggest guy in my school, like in my grade, that I was taller than everyone else in my grade except one person. So everyone was like kind of intimidated, like, well, I'm never going to pick on that guy, obviously. But everyone also knew like I was the autistic one, but I was a lot less of a target compared to more, unfortunately, severely impacted people, like with Down syndrome and such. So that was very shitty of them to do. I won't deny that. They should definitely not do that. But high school girls are the most evil thing in the world. So
literally.
Yeah.
But I wanted to relate to that because, unfortunately for me, I power tripped because of this attention from the popular girls, plus being an only child, plus having autism, and I became a very big attention seeker in high school, to like where I always wanted to have someone around to talk to. And this is also the origin of why I am such an extrovert comparatively to a lot of people on Skade, is because like I got so used to having people around me constantly talking to me that like I just always embraced the attention that I was getting and really enjoyed it. And it led to a lot of times where like I did like outbursts and stuff when I really didn't have anything stressful going on. Like a couple of the outbursts were like actually like because of masking too much and stuff. But like most of the outbursts I'll say were like completely fabricated to get more attention. And it definitely was not my proudest moments looking back on it. And it is why I do say that I did not like myself in high school. But I do want to say that like I can relate to you about like how I did have popular girlfriends in high school, because some girls like to act, especially in high school, that like they like to act like they are good people and good Samaritans by being friends with the disabled ones and stuff. That's like a big thing. At least it was in my high school. Like make them seem like they are good people. I don't think that they would actually do that in real life, but hey.
Yeah, you run into them at the store and they're like, "Why are you talking to me?"
Yeah, people change. Like high school is completely different than what you would expect in real life anyway. So
yeah.
But yeah, high school is a weird time.
I
not wrong on that one.
I was not there.
Cannot relate. Wasn't there.
I cannot relate.
Decided to skip.
But I
got the Mario Kart skip for high school. Sorry.
Yeah, I did the shortcut. I was able to pull it off. It was quite hard.
It was a really hard one.
Yeah, you complete scrubs had to actually do it the normal way.
Yeah, you had to do the shortcut on what's the one, the penguin track, the one where you can like cut off half of the beginning there. That one's a great shortcut.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, excuse me, I'm yawning.
Yeah.
Are you tired?
Seems like he is.
I am very tired. I am very drained. I got woken up early today from the immediate requirement to go straight to work.
Oof. Well,
Well, Lord, I think it's awesome that you wanted to kind of share your story on that, because you know skaters are watching, and I think we see more of kind of your situation than we see of like, you know, like more like Evan's, where Evan was diagnosed very young. We have quite a few skaters that went through some of their childhood, whether it be like an elementary school, or I don't know what you guys call that. I think it's primary. Yeah.
Well, it's nursery and primary. Yeah.
Right. So like, you know, some people in the US, you know, typically if the parents aren't aware, teachers are. And so a lot of kids in the US will get diagnosed, you know, early into primary, if not prior to primary. It's very typical. Like Riley was just turned 2. Evan was, I think, what you said, 3, somewhere there. So that is more common. But for myself, I also was not diagnosed yet through school. And it added a whole other sense of, why am I like this? Like, why am I so weird? What is my problem? Because everything was pushed onto me as I am the one in the wrong, not realizing this is just my brain. It processes different. You know, like lights and sounds were harder for me. Following a conversation was impossible. You know, like there was retaining information. That was a tough one. You know, teachers would do a great job teaching, and then I'd be like, what? I none of it retained. It took a lot of teachers that were very patient with me, that once I did start getting, even without the diagnosis in school, there was such a severe need that my teachers were like, okay, she's dyslexic, we need to teach her this way, or she needs sensory breaks, without knowing I was autistic, let's give them to her. And so I was very fortunate to just have some teachers that, you know, could see my needs and not look for a per se diagnosis at the time, because autism in girls is still very hard to get diagnosed today. But you can imagine years back, it was almost impossible, because at the time people were really like, autism, oh, Rain Man. And it's like, no, there's other forms of autism besides the classic, you know, savant type that, you know, some people associated with. So for me, it was very difficult to not have that understanding of why am I like this, even though I did have good teachers, that did kind of help me along the way. Got me to where I am, which is great. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard not understanding completely why we are, why we say the things or do the repetitive things we do or whatever it is. That we clearly stand out, masking, like I think Obby had mentioned, or it's masking, so much masking, just to get through your day. You know what I mean? And yeah, so my heart goes out to you on that, but I think we have that in common. So one more thing in common.
Yep.
Yeah, fun stuff. It's hard. And I'm glad that we talk about this stuff here because I know there are skaters that can relate that just never talk about it, or they think everyone's had it easier than me, or, no one's going to understand. And it's one of the things I love so much about FSFs FSFs is where we are friends supporting friends. We get together twice a month and just kind of talk about different autism situations and how we handle them. And this is one of my favorite things about FSFs is you might leave. You might start thinking I'm the only one that does this. Why am I so weird? Even for being autistic, I'm weird. But you often leave those sessions going, wow, I'm not the only one. And even if it's not something we can fix, it still just sometimes feels better knowing someone else relates. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's helpful. And that's kind of one of these. Clearly, we can't go back and fix our childhoods, but we can relate with each other and understand. And I'm glad like you guys are doing as well as you're doing. Just like, Obby and Evan and myself as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
We're kind of rad, guys. We're kind of rad. So
kind of rad.
Kind of rad.
I like to think so. I like to think so. Yeah. I would say so.
I don't
I'd
think
say
I'm
pretty
that
confident.
rad, honestly.
I think
I'm
you're pretty
cool.
rad. Cool. Cool is such like a 2000s word. Like get back in the 90s.
Ew. I was born in the 2000s.
I know.
I was born at the turn of the century.
How's that working out?
Yeah, it's fine.
Go ahead, Evan. You were saying something?
Oh, I honestly didn't remember what I was saying. I was basically just saying, yeah, I like to think I'm average. That was basically all I was saying.
Congrats on being average, man.
Congrats. What's that like? I have no idea.
You really are a mean.
I got called an average size, and that made me happy.
How long? So one thing I actually want to also bring up. So I think you guys have all kind of picked at something that Lord wanted to talk about. I have something I'd like to talk about, and that's Warhammer 40k, because I know that's something that you're interested in, and that is in fact a game I started probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago. Started getting into. I'm a very new player. I play with another friend who I've known for a while, and so we play against each other a lot. So yeah, I'm quite interested to hear you talk about Warhammer a little bit. So like, when did you start playing it, and like, what kind of armies do you usually play?
Well, I started playing it. Well, my friends introduced me. My older friends, they got into it, and they were like, "Oh, why don't you, Lord, why don't you play with us?" So I got, I just got dragged along. The models looked cool, and the story seemed interesting that they told me about. So I got into it about, I think, when I was 12, 13-ish. Yeah, probably about 13 years of age. And yeah, I went to Games Workshop that was near me, and picked out the one that looked cool, which was Eldar. So that's the first one I started, and that's the one I've stuck to.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
really cool.
Yeah, so my friends at the time played Tyranids and Necrons. So yeah, I wanted to be different from them, and so I picked Eldar, and that's the thing I stuck with. I have been interested in 140k since then. I've not kept up fully. It's more like a passing interest. I just check in once in a while.
Yeah,
check out
no,
the
that
new
makes
games.
sense.
Yeah.
It's kind of I'm in a similar position right now. I don't play Warhammer constantly. I probably play it maybe once a week, maybe like once every other week. I play it quite sporadically, but I love it. I really like the sort of like way the game works. So for those of you who don't know, Warhammer is like a strategy game. So you have like this little map, like a tabletop map, and you're trying to essentially wipe out the other person's army through abilities and other means. So that can be melee attacks, ranged attacks. You're also trying to get more points than them. So if you can't, outright destroy their army, you're trying to get ahead of them on points. And usually a guaranteed way to do that is to just kill your enemies, because then you can control objective points, you can complete particular missions. So like you'll have some missions in the game that say you need to kill one vehicle. So if I'm playing against an army that say Lord is playing, and his one of his armies has a tank in it, if I kill that tank, which is a vehicle class, I get points. So the aim of the game is by the 5th and final round to have more points than your opponent. But I love it because the fun as well of Warhammer is not the playing it, but it's also building your army. There's so many different characters and different troops to choose from, different play styles, and it's just awesome. I play one of the armies that Lord actually mentioned. I play Necrons quite a lot. That's sort of the second army that I ever started playing. And what's cool about Necrons is they have an ability where every at the start of every round they can reanimate, so they can essentially regain any lost health, and they can also regain, they can kind of bring back fallen troops as well that are in their units. So it's a really cool and really interesting playstyle. I'm going to be experimenting a little bit with the orcs at some point. Have you ever played the orcs before, Lord?
I haven't, but I've recently fallen in love with them because of the lore things I've done, and also the Space Marine games. I've gotten into fallen in love with them. They're the only race in the entire Warhammer 40k universe. They're actually having fun, other than the demons. They're actually enjoying the fighting.
Always have fun.
Yeah. The lore of that's the other thing. The lore of Warhammer is I would say one of the most quintessential nerd games. It's like D&D in that way, because Warhammer is so multi-layered. You have an entire community of Warhammer enthusiasts who've never even touched the game, who are literally just obsessed with the models, because you can get physical models of the army. You have another side of Warhammer where they've never played the game, but they know everything about the lore. They could tell you everything about every single faction, every single race, everything. It's just crazy how eclectic the sort of Warhammer community is. I currently am more just a player of the game, but it is so cool to see how layered it is and so interesting. And so I got very excited when you mentioned you wanted to bring it up, because we have talked a little bit about it before. So yeah, definitely really cool.
There are a lot of those kind of games that are have lore that is so well explored because of how old it is. I think Warcraft is another good example of that, where it's the games that have just been around for so long and have so much time and effort put into them. I would say even Magic to an extent, where it's just the lore in there is so crazy at this point that it's wow, it's really an impressive feat that people can keep up with those kinds of lore. In my opinion, it is. Anyway, I find it very interesting, video game lore.
Oh, definitely. I think it's even the same with D&D to a degree. Obviously it's very imaginative, and you can create a story from thin air and make up any story you want. But there are often some lore. There is some lore behind the different individual characters you can choose to use in the game that have been pre-made. Like nerd culture is just such an interesting thing. Warhammer, Magic the Gathering, D&D, they're all in that same category, and they end up being some of the most dedicated, loyal, and interesting fans you'll ever see. And they're just so enthusiastic. It's awesome.
Very true. Well, anyways, do you know something that also has a lot of lore?
Besides the relationship story over here, what?
Anime. We are at that point.
Well, it's good seeing you guys.
All right, bye, you two.
Let's go, Evan.
Leave.
Hey, to be fair, I sat here and listened to your Warhammer 40k talk, okay?
Oh, you listened to that? I'm just kidding.
No, it's fair. It's fair. It wasn't much
it's all good
about Warhammer. So
I love listening. I like listening. I learn.
So, Lord, I think I've made it pretty well known that you are probably the only other weeb on Skade who is to the same level of weebness as I am. Where we have watched so much anime over our tenure as weebs that it's just I mean, I'll say that compared to a lot of my friends, I have watched very little compared to some of them, but we've watched a lot. We understand what is mainstream. We watch the more niche shows and stuff, etc., etc. I want to hear just straight up what are your possibly like some top 10 favorites, because I think that's a good way to judge a person's anime taste.
Oh, that's a tough one. I gave up on top 10s because it's just so hard to decide between anime. But I can give a few of my best, favorites. I'd say Overlord, obviously.
Overlord, okay.
Yeah, me and Rin really love Overlord. I guess One Piece. That was an obvious one.
Yep.
One Piece is so good.
It is so good. That being said,
really.
I do prefer the manga over the anime. But the
Yeah.
One Piece, the new anime made by what studio? Very interested in that.
Yeah,
We talked about One Piece for years.
That is
Years.
true. And I still read it on a
Years.
weekly basis. It's just that I have realized now that I'm never converting these people over to the gospel that is One Piece. So
Never. But it wasn't his profile status for like, it was a status forever too. Watch One
Yeah.
Piece.
I think every One Piece fan goes
I
through
think
that.
Waffles too.
Well, One Piece, I think every One Piece fan, once they get into it at first, they realize how great it is and they wonder why so few people talk about it. Like, it is one of
Yes.
those things where it's like, it is literally the biggest, most expansive lore you can have in any manga. Like, I'd say the only thing that rivals it in retrospect is probably like, I don't know, Detective Conan or Pokemon's anime, but both of those are episodic shows. Like, they have a plot, but not like one that they follow so tightly compared to One Piece, which has over 1,000 chapters of continuous plot progression for certain goals. Like, it is like the biggest lore stuff that you can find in manga. And it's like it's so intricate and well thought out that it's like, why don't people enjoy this thing? And you become so delusional with it, you don't realize it's because of the goddamn fucking size of it. Like, someone goes into One Piece and sees like, oh, I have to read 1,100 chapters? Huh. So I like having free time, actually. And it takes a while for people to realize like, oh, but it's not that much actually. Once you start reading it, it goes by super fast. And it's like, no, it really doesn't. Let's be honest. Like, if I were to go back and read through all of One Piece right now, it would take me about 2 months to get through the entire thing at a normal, healthy pace. Like, and that's me trying to push it lightly. Like, it would probably take more like 3 months knowing how I would do it. So, like, it's a big time commitment. But anyone who starts One Piece is just like, oh, it's so good. Why isn't no one else reading this or watching this? So that is why I was like that. But yeah, what other shows or anime, manga, whatever you want, do you watch or read?
Oh, can it include manga?
Yeah.
Oh, in that case, 100 Girlfriends, obviously. One of my favorites.
I know you like that one a lot.
Yeah, it's harem done, well. And also, it's got so many different characters, because he gets 100 girlfriends at some point, up to 32 right now. Yeah, 32. So it's good. Girlfriend. I've actually finished that, and I like the ending. It was a good ending in my opinion. But for like more of a powered character kind of one, I'm the Fated Villain is my like one of my top faves. That's like more of like a I believe I think it's Chinese actually. Is it Korean? Can't remember, but yeah, it focuses more on like the cultivation side of like manhwa and stuff like that. Yeah, it's literally every like if you read any of that cultivation stuff, it deals with every trope of like overpowered MCs and reincarnation stuff like that. It does everything.
I'll have to check
he is
it out.
like it's a good one. I've reread it so many times. The art style is also amazing.
For sure.
Yeah.
But have you watched Grave of the Fireflies?
I'm so sorry, Blue. I tried to make Rin watch it before this episode. I really wanted to be here and be like, yeah, I watched it. We can rave about it and, talk about details. But I'm sorry, we haven't got to it yet.
It's the only anime I've ever seen and nobody will watch it.
Free Reign is on
Obby owns
Netflix
it.
now. You have no reason to not watch it, too.
You own Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah?
You
Okay.
still won't watch it.
It's not that I won't watch it. It's that I know I'm going to cry during it, and I'm not in the state right
Yes.
now where I want to cry.
Well, you're not just gonna cry. You'll cry every time you like go to the grocery store. It's just, yeah. Lord, will you commit to watching it at some point so we can talk about it?
Trust me, I
I've
promise
been
I will
looking
try to.
I've been looking for someone to talk about this with for like, I don't even know what, like 6 years now.
Yeah, and I've been
Thank
waiting
you.
you to finish Free Reign for a year now.
A year. That you got 5 to go. I'm just kidding. No, I'm gonna finish Free Run.
Not
Now
long.
Yeah,
that
I'm
it's
not
something I
finishing
can
Severance
watch-
until you finish Free Run.
No-
So how about that?
Now that it's something I can watch on my phone and watch on my iPad and not have to be at my computer to watch, I'll blow through Free Run a lot faster. So, plus, I'm all caught up on Severance. So yeah.
So yeah, I will say that in I know we've talked quite a bit about just anime back and forth, and like you're definitely more of a you like harem genre a lot. I'm more of a romance fan of just any kind. I will give you like I think I've sent you my list before. Like you've seen which ones are my top 10, but just for like some quick fire ones in terms of just pure anime. Code Geass is up there. Neon Genesis Evangelion. Slime almost was on the list. That time we got reincarnated as a slime.
Yeah.
I
that's a
don't
good
know
one.
why. I have never played Civilization, or every time I try to play Civilization, I get very bogged down by all the like text on the screen and not knowing what to do. But when I see a Civilization anime, it is my guilty pleasure, and I love watching how the intricacies of like their city's politics develop and stuff like that. So that is like one of my favorite shows. What other ones? Like Sound Euphonium for sure. That's my favorite anime of all time. How heavy are the dumbbells you're lifting? That one I can't really talk about though, because that's definitely not skate friendly.
Oh my god.
I'm
Yeah, fair.
intrigued. Send me that link.
But yeah, it is. I have a lot of favorite ones. I think I'm missing so many right now. Mob Psycho 100 definitely. That one is one that that one's the one I would recommend to every skater to watch. Like if any skater is listening to any anime that like you should watch other than Free Run, it would be Mob Psycho 100. That one is quintessential for anyone who wants to build self-esteem. Anyone. But yeah, we've talked a lot about anime and manga. I am curious though. I am curious about like how you got interested into harem in the first place. Is there like a story behind why you like harem manga? And just so that way people do know, harem in the context that we were talking about it is a relationship where one person has multiple significant others that are all fine with it, or
like a poly, or
very similar to poly, but not that they're
Not-
in a relationship. Like they're all
So,
scouting
gotcha.
for the same guy.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, or reverse harem where they're all scouting for the same girl. Like they're not in a relationship yet. They are trying to be in a relationship with that person.
Yeah. Well, a good harem is where they actually, the guy or girl gets all their, significant other partners. And live happily ever after. That's why I like Girlfriend, 100 Girlfriends, because they actually do that, which is what I like.
Yeah.
But if you want to know about the how I got into it, when I first got into anime, which was just by random chance, one of my teachers at school just played like an AMV of like This Is Halloween, and it was Soul Eater.
Oh
and
yeah.
After seeing that, me and my friend were like, "Oh, we need to find this show. We need to find what it is." We watched it, got into it, and then we started looking at other anime and kept going from there. But the first thing of like harem would be Demon King Daimyo, I believe was my first ever harem anime. It's like an older one, but it's it like opened my eyes to it, and I was like, oh, I really like this. So I looked at the harem tag that was like I thought it was, and then I saw other anime and just kept going between them, Campione, Date Alive, and just kept finding more and more, and just I really enjoyed it. Because I was a bit, I didn't exactly have I had friends, but I wasn't exactly popular, and I I had a lot of time to myself because I was a very reserved person when I was growing up, and I was okay with it because I like being alone.
Yeah.
I'm used to it. I like it. It calms me down. It makes me feel I feel good. So yeah, I just kept watching harem and just enjoyed it, and just kept watching it even to this day.
I'm glad to hear. I mean, as I said, I'm more of a romance fan, and that's just because of the fact that I got very like out of all the anime I've seen mostly romance, and I got so fucking bored of chase romance, where it is about like them getting together, and like most of the time in those shows, they're already doing things that they would normally do as a couple. They're just not a official couple, and it's like, dude, this is, why just say that you like each other? Just say it.
Yeah.
You're already doing all the things that a couple would do. Just say it. And so I started watching romance out of spite to find the ones that they're already a couple or they confess very early on, because those ones are just like natural to me. Those are like ones that are good. They're like what they should be doing in the first place.
Convoluted. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, I'm so glad I get to watch 3 seasons, 12 episodes each of each season just to find out that they hold hands at the end of the 3rd season. Yay.
No.
They drag it on for so long.
You're like, hurry up, woman. Let's get on with this.
I would actually say that's
I ain't got time for 4 seasons.
Unless I think there's very rare exceptions, but honestly, that's my least favorite show format. Is like when like the entire show revolves around a character accomplishing one goal, but they have to drag it out like to like literally like over like 4 or 5 seasons to accomplish the same fucking goal. It's like, oh my god, like can we just get this done already?
I think it does
like,
depend on the goals, like scope though. Like if someone's trying to say like they want to become president of a country, like that's gonna be a long goal.
Of course, that's gonna be a multi-season thing, right? But like when we're talking about I'm more talking about like trivial things, right?
Yeah.
Like I need to escape this room, or I'm going to try and ask this girl. It's like, does that really need to be a 5-season show? Probably not.
No, probably not at all.
But yeah, it can work depending on what it is and how it's like portrayed. It can definitely work. So I'm not ragging on the entire concept.
On the entire, yeah. No, I am one of those people who is like, I get very annoyed with like people doing things that they would normally do, but they aren't official or anything like that. It's like, dude, just say it. Just say that you're in love. Say that you like each other, please. It's like irritating.
Yeah.
Some anime, some series can get away with it, and it's actually really well done. My favorite manga of all time is Kaguya-sama, Love is War, which does this concept very well. But like most of it's just like copy and paste, cookie cutter, same garbage over and over and over again.
Yeah, it is. It's very hard to find like gems, for things like this.
Yeah,
I do know what you're saying, and that's as somebody who's not even an anime like viewer really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's really cool like how passionate you guys are about anime. Like again, it's not something that I really frequently watch, but like it is cool like that you two have also become friends because of that really shared interest. So yeah, it's really awesome to see.
Now we became friends because we wanted to keep one-upping each other in Mario Kart. The anime came afterwards.
Oh yes, that's
to be fair though, I will say the entire reason why I wanted to get to know Rin for so long was because she went by Lady Otaku, because her account like name had like some weird thing going on for a long time, and I was like, oh, Lady Otaku, I want to get to know this person because obviously otaku, that means that they like anime. And then I found out later it was Rin, and I was like, I've known Rin for years. What? They like anime? Oh, I want to get to know them more. But like it wasn't until recently that I got to be like a lot more open to them. And then I find out, oh, actually most of the anime I watch is because of my husband's. Like, well, now I know who I need to set my eyes on.
Yeah, now you know who the real target is.
Yeah. So it's actually very funny that like I have been wanting to be cordial with Rin for such a long time because of me knowing that they have
because of the tie-in.
Yeah, because they like anime, and it's like, okay, well now I am here. And I have apparently been a boyfriend of her husband.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering, Obby, how much longer do we have left? Because there's one topic that I think would be quite interesting for Lord to talk about.
We have 8 minutes.
Okay, that's probably enough time. Lord, I'd like to ask you. You mentioned that you really want to talk about the stroke that you had when you were 5 years old. I do find that very interesting, and I think the others would also find that interesting too. So, would you mind going into that? Like, I know we're a bit short on time, so you don't have to, but I'm very interested if you are willing to talk about it.
I mean, I can give you I can give you a bit of detail, not like the full story, but I can give you like a bit of detail.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Did you drown?
Did I drown? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we clip that one, please? guys. Mark the time. It's 333 where I live.
Oh my
God.
goodness.
I'm
Clip.
so sorry.
/BAN.
We cancel him now.
Cancel
him.
I think he
Anyway,
just canceled
sorry.
himself.
I definitely did that. Anyway, back to you, Lord. Let's carry on.
Right. So yeah,
I
obviously
don't quite understand the question anymore. Do you want to rephrase the question, Evan, and Obby can pick up there?
No, I was asking, like, I was making a joke about the stroke, but like we're talking about his stroke in particular. I'm asking him like he wants to talk about the stroke he had at 5 years old, so I'll just let Lord like just continue from there.
Yeah, no, it's good. We're just revisiting. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had the stroke. It was caused by the holes from my heart that didn't close, so that's why I had the stroke. And
Yep,
you know,
I knew that
it was
part.
it's actually caused because I went on a log flume, from what I'm told. The excitement of being like a log flume going, down, it caused the stroke to happen. And then I went to hospital. They were like trying to figure out what happened, because obviously, why would you assume a 5-year-old had a stroke? That pretty much never happens. It's like,
unless you have a hole in your heart.
Exactly. That is why. That's why it took them a bit of time to figure it out. But once they figured it out, they did the mesh. They did the mesh. They put me on aspirin, which affected me quite heavily. Obviously, children with aspirin, it's not a good combination.
No.
And
are you still on it? Because I have to take it the rest of my life. One day the rest of my life. No
I
more.
don't-
Well,
I
you
don't
also
take it.
had the mesh. See, I couldn't have that. It's nickel, and I have a nickel allergy, so yeah, they wouldn't do it.
So what you're saying is that I should never give you 5 cents. Got it.
No, always pennies, please.
Yeah. That's so crazy that like you dealt with that like at such a young age. Like it must be quite uncommon for them to deal with, like an episode of House almost.
It's not literally. It's a heart thing. Like cardiac patients, it happens. Yeah. You were 5
years old,
I think, and I was like 20 when mine happened. So yeah, same thing, same exact thing.
Oh.
So that was a bit hard because I obviously because of the stroke, or maybe because of the autism that was undiagnosed, I had a sensitive head as I was growing up. So like any like people brushing my hair, getting my hair cut, getting gel in my hair. My dad was rough with like, he always wanted me to have my hair gelled up because apparently it looked nicer than just having it down. I don't know why. So yeah, it was sensitive and it hurt. And the kids, at my school knew that. So if I ever got a fight with them or whatever, all they'd do is just bump me on the head, and I'll just be like inconsolably crying.
Oh
so
my
that
gosh.
was unpleasant.
I can imagine. That's awful.
Yeah. And obviously the whole nerve damage in my left hand thing. So I've also got hypertension with nerve damage. So that's like a bad combination of clicking and clacking in my muscles and stuff like that. Which is also So I also, that's also a thing you need to do, is if you have a condition, you need to make sure your parents are telling you the right thing, because my parents told me, oh, you're double jointed, that's why you have like clicking hands. No, I have hypertension. I checked the letters when I got them back from my father when I moved out. It said plain as day hypertension, not double jointed.
Oh no.
So that's also another thing.
That's really
double check your parents' work. If they tell you something, just check the letters.
No, it is
Ask
because
the doctor, not your mom.
You have to know as much as you can about like what you've got, because if you do have something that happens, they need to kind of know like all the things you already have to make sure that medication they put you on doesn't like have a negative effect on any conditions you already have. Like it's very important you know those things. So that could have been really costly, not knowing that you had hypertension, and falsely believed you were double jointed. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, I'm glad that we got that depressing story about how you had a stroke at the very end of the podcast.
It's a great way to. We talked about the stroke twice, so that was even cool too.
I find it funny. I think
it was a revisit. A revisit.
It was a revisit to that topic. Either way, I do know that you have something pretty special to put on our wall for the outro here. That apparently your wife is making you put on. So
I asked for it.
Oh, you asked for it?
Yeah, I asked Rin to do it for me because I wanted something cool. I don't really have a connection to many items in the game because I don't really play Minecraft.
Fair.
But I have a connection to myself because I love me.
Oh wow, I'm glad that you like yourself.
Yes,
and
there's
no
nothing wrong with
one
being
else
vain.
apparently.
Am I the only one
Nothing wrong
without
with being a bit vain,
self-confidence in this room?
You are now.
That's why you need to
I
watch
know.
Mob Psycho 100. But yeah,
I always tease Evan and say, I wish you had more confidence in yourself. And he knows
She
when I
does
say
this
that.
a lot.
It's because he's so confident. And Obby, you are Mr. Confidence. So like
I
I'm
do
so outnumbered in
exaggerate.
here.
Online, I exaggerate it a lot, to be fair. But I think the funniest part too is like about her messing around with me on that is because I only recently started becoming very like outgoing and like self-confident in real life. So it's quite funny that like that Blue will kick me when I'm down.
Yeah,
well,
I got you.
Lord, where are you gonna post your thing?
Under Rin. I mean, you don't have to. You can get away from that one if you want.
I'm tied to really real life. I don't want. I want to at least be a bit more.
You
On
don't
the
want
other
to be
side of the room
separated
here.
in game.
Just for once.
Just for once.
Well, this is
Actually,
his
it's for every
boyfriend's
episode
set.
though. So
I can't place anything. I'm not.
Oh,
/ plot trust Lord Otaku.
Lord.
There you go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's
I
okay.
still
We
haven't.
had to make it so Rosie could kill Evan. It was great.
I
Yep.
still haven't got permission.
Why does trust not? Oh, it's because I have more than 10 players. Uh-oh. Does plot add work?
Just take out
There you go.
myself or
Go
Evan.
ahead.
There you go.
Okay, I'll try again.
There you
third
go.
time.
Sorted.
As
Yeah.
long as I'm online, it should work.
Hey! Oh my god, that's
that's
awesome.
amazing.
Oh, that's really nice looking.
I love it.
That's so cool.
It's not showing up so well in the camera, so I will take a picture of it to show people
I see it.
right here.
Yeah.
So I
see it
will,
perfect.
so people know what it actually says and everything.
That's awesome, Lord.
I'm glad that we have an album cover now on our set. You do look
I
like
love
an
it.
album cover. It's
You
actually
gotta
pretty
put a
uncanny.
sign though. You still gotta do a sign.
Yep.
Okay.
Sign right above it.
Only because we need
Signatures.
yeah, and dates, of course.
For
Because it
legal
is what day is
reasons.
it? What day is it, Obby?
It is the 11th of March.
No, the day it's airing.
Oh, April 4th, I think.
Don't tell them what day it is. April 4th. Yay.
No, you can put
a
March
3/11.
11th. That was only Allie who had to do
11/3.
that.
And we don't even know why. I was saying, oh wait, that was our retake, but that wasn't even our retake.
It was our retake.
That was-
Nope.
No, we didn't. We just had to start it over mid,
Yeah. Blue, you're blocking the sign, by the way.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. There you go.
There we go. We got Lord Otaku from March 11th of 2025.
Let's
Loves
go.
it.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Lord, it was really cool having you on. We've had Rin, we've had Lord. You guys know what that means soon. We will have Rin and Lord at some point.
At the same
Yeah.
time.
We'll have to
Love
play
it.
some games. It'd be fun to do like newlywed games where like we'll split them up and then they'll have to like
I
guess
will do
what
a
your
newlywed
partner
game.
would say.
I would do a newlywed game if we got Riley and Nin. That's the only way I would do it.
That'd be fun. I don't know if we can get Riley, but that'd be really fun. Test your knowledge of your partner. That's what
Yeah.
we'll do.
I would love to
That'd
do
be
one of those
fun.
though. But like I would need first off
We
3
could
couples.
get Yeety and Galaxy
Yeety and
maybe
Galaxy
too.
as
They've been
dating,
together 3 years
and
now.
then
Yeah.
Nin and Riley is like semi-engaged and then married.
Yep.
So
Basically. Yep. The steps.
Yep. That's how the newlywed
Dating,
games
living
go.
together, and married.
So yeah, I think that this is
Yeah.
it for this episode. We did go a little bit
Yeah,
over, but
this
that's
was really
fine every
fun.
once in a while.
We all,
Yeah,
yeah.
great.
We like to
It was
break the
worth
rules.
it.
We're good.
Yeah, it's only
It was
just more
worth it,
editing for
Lord.
me.
It's just our own rules.
All right. Thank you all for watching. Evan, do you want to do the outro?
I will. Thank you all very much for watching this episode of Skader Things with Lord. If you guys liked the video or you didn't like it, please leave a
Uh-oh.
like or a dislike. That's up to you. Please try to comment
They
on
don't
if you
leave a
like the episode.
dislike. Just don't like it is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. If you want to dislike it or just decide.
No,
well,
no. We don't want them to dislike it.
Please, I beg you to please not dislike the episode. I'm begging you. Please don't dislike
if
it.
you do,
You
it'll
guys
be
can
Evan's
dislike the
fault.
episode.
If you don't
You
like
cannot
it, then
like
just
it. You don't
yeah,
have to
you
like
can just
it.
not like it. That's a better way of putting it. I always forget how you say it. And yeah,
Obby
please
says
please
it
remember
well.
to comment and share the video as well.
But you don't
And
have
yeah,
to.
you don't have to do that either. You're under no
You don't have to
obligation.
do that if
Do
you don't
what
want
you
to.
There's
wanna
no,
do, fam.
there is zero obligation.
Do what you
Anyway.
want.
All right.
Just don't
Anyways,
like it.
bye.
Thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the
Bye.
next one. Goodbye.